Obviously, we wish that he was here with us to celebrate, but it's definitely the peak of his NBA career.
Kobe's mother. Kobe's mother is still walking. She's still with us. Vanessa Bryant, are you going to take care of Kobe's mom? Kobe's gone. His father's gone. What about his mom?
So what happened was Kobe Bryant's mother gave the items to the auction house. The auction house issued a press release. Kobe became aware of it. He sent a cease and desist letter to the auction house. It's the auction house that went to federal court asking Kobe Bryant to come into court and explain why he should be entitled to possession of these items.
Unfortunately, we don't talk much. Maybe down the road that relationship will be better, but right now it's not much going on.
Everybody's wondering, when is the end? Have you ever thought about it?
Oh yeah, I wondered too. I wondered too. When do you know?
If one of your arms fall off.
That's a pretty good indication. Hopefully that won't happen. We're getting kind of close now.
So it looks like Kobe's mom, Pamela, is coming for Vanessa Bryant, claiming that Vanessa left her broke and struggling. But here's the thing, sources close to Pamela are saying she's not exactly living in poverty. She just thinks she deserves a much more lavish lifestyle because of who her son was, and now she's blaming Vanessa for not stepping up. But before you start feeling bad for Pamela, Vanessa is not here for the nonsense. And she's firing back, making it clear that Pamela always saw Kobe as a walking ATM. In fact, that's one of the main reasons why Kobe distanced himself from his mom in the first place. Remember, Kobe tried to buy his mom a house, and instead of being grateful, she complained it wasn't big enough, and when Kobe refused to upgrade it, Pamela went behind his back and tried to sell this prized memorabilia for a quick cash grab, and Kobe made it clear that he saw this as the ultimate betrayal. Now some fans, and even a few public figures, have criticized Vanessa for cutting off Kobe's mom.
For Vanessa Bryant. And I'm going to be honest with you, Art, I'm disappointed in the NBA, in the retired NBA players, because I can't believe nobody is calling her to task in her neglect of Kobe Bryant's parents. That man left her a sizable estate, man.
But let's be real, Vanessa didn't cut off Pamela, Kobe did. And insiders say Pamela never made an effort to patch things up with her son before his tragic passing. She had years to apologize, but she never did. Fast forward to today, and Pamela is reportedly out here dragging Vanessa, acting like it was her responsibility to take care of her after Kobe passed. But Vanessa, who's been focused on raising her daughters and protecting Kobe's legacy, is making it clear that she doesn't owe Pamela a thing. And honestly, after everything Pamela did to Kobe, a lot of people are siding with Vanessa. Others, however, think she should at least extend an olive branch for Kobe's children's sake. So what exactly did Pamela say about Vanessa, and how did Vanessa respond? Let's break this down.
Kobe Bryant was devastated when he found out his mom had signed an agreement with Golden Auctions to sell more than 100 items from his childhood. With
Kobe Bryant's mother, Pamela Bryant, was recently spotted grocery shopping in Las Vegas. And while she tried to put on a smiling face for the cameras, insiders are saying she's furious behind the scenes. According to sources close to Pamela, she's been venting to everyone in her circle about how she feels she was unfairly cut off from Kobe's estate. And she's placing all the blame on his widow, Vanessa Pamela, who has remained mostly out of the spotlight since Kobe and his daughter Gianna tragically passed in 2020, is allegedly telling people that she should be living a much more luxurious lifestyle than she is now. Sources claimed she expected Vanessa to step up and provide for her financially after Kobe's passing, and now that it hasn't happened, she's been allegedly bad-mouthing Vanessa at every opportunity. However, Vanessa's camp is making it clear that this isn't Vanessa's fault. In fact, it was Kobe himself who chose to cut his mother off long before his passing, and insiders say he never fully forgave his mother for valuing money over their relationship. And despite multiple opportunities to reconcile, Pamela allegedly never apologized or made an effort to mend things with her son before he died. Now Pamela is reportedly trying to spin the narrative, making it seem like Vanessa is deliberately keeping her from Kobe's wealth. And some public figures, like Dargumar, backed Kobe's mom and called out Vanessa for not doing enough to support her.
A sizable estate, man. A sizable estate. And I don't hear any of these NBA players saying like, listen, we're not trying to get in your business, but Kobe was our brother. You inherited his estate. Those are his parents. You would have never even met him because he would have never even be here if they didn't create him. You owe it to them, and you owe it to him to take care of his parents.
But here's the thing, sources close to Vanessa are shutting all that down and saying that Kobe had already made his decision about his mom long ago. So at the end of the day, Vanessa is simply honoring Kobe's wishes Fans have also been weighing in, with many pointing out how hypocritical it is that Pamela is now playing the victim. When she was the one who pushed Kobe away, and after everything Pamela put Kobe through, fans are saying Vanessa has every right to keep her distance and protect his legacy. Now let's get into the backstory of Kobe's complicated relationship with his parents, because all this tension didn't just come out of nowhere. Kobe may have been the most iconic basketball player in his family, but he wasn't the only one with NBA ties. His father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, played in the league, and his uncle, John Chabby Cox, also had a stint in the NBA, so from the jump, Kobe was basically born into the basketball world.
Basketball hero.
My father, hands down. When I grew up in Italy, he was the guy that I idolized.
And I wanted to be better than my father. And he used to kick my
all the time?
All the time.
At what point did you get him?
I was 14.
What was the feeling like then?
I wanted to keep doing it.
And his feeling?
He didn't want me to keep doing it, so he never played me.
As for Kobe's mother, Pamela Bryant, she was known as a socialite, but unlike Joe, there's no record of her having any kind of professional career. She was mainly known for being Joe Bryant's wife, and later. Kobe's mother, a title that she seemed to think would come with certain privileges. Now when Kobe was still a kid, his father's NBA career took a turn, and Joe landed an opportunity to play overseas in Italy. The whole family packed up and made the move, and this is where Kobe spent a major chunk of his childhood. Being the youngest and only son, he quickly adapted to the culture, learning to speak Italian fluently.
Siamo una famiglia che capiamo che è molto importante fare le cose che sono più grandi di te stesso.
And though Kobe developed a love for soccer while living in Italy, basketball was always his true calling. His grandfather used to send him NBA tapes. And Kobe would spend hours studying the game, determined to turn his passion into something legendary. At 13, the Bryant family returned to the U.S. and settled in Philadelphia. That's when Kobe really leveled up, competing in major tournaments and making a name for himself. And while the rest is history.
For three, yes! His first field goal in Philly. Bryant for two.
Could not ask for more excitement than we've got in Philadelphia, the scene of our next 3 games.
But even as Kobe skyrocketed to superstardom, his relationship with his parents started getting rocky, and as we now know, things never truly got repaired. Now there isn't a ton of public info on what Kobe's relationship with his parents was like before his career blew up, but most assume things were pretty smooth. That is until he got engaged to Vanessa Lane at just 21 years old. At the time, Vanessa was a 17-year-old high school student who was also dipping her toes into the entertainment industry, making appearances in music videos.
Vanessa. Hi.
Now it's no secret that Kobe's parents never supported Kobe's relationship with Vanessa. They felt he was way too young to be settling down and wanted him to focus on his career instead of rushing into marriage. But that's not the only reason they disapproved of Vanessa. Many believe that Pam and Joe's real issue was that Vanessa wasn't black, she's of Mexican and Irish descent. And some sources claimed this played a major role in their disapproval, according to an article published in the Los Angeles Times. The problem was that Joe was uncomfortable that Vanessa, a Latina, is not African-American, and he is uneasy with his selfless devotion to her. When Kobe and Vanessa got married in 2001, Joe and Pam didn't attend the wedding, and even Kobe's 2 sisters, Sharia and Shay, refused to attend the ceremony. But Kobe wasn't the type to be controlled, and he didn't let his parents ruin his chance at love. Pam and Joe's disapproval of Vanessa caused a massive rift, and Kobe ended up completely estranged from his family for 2 whole years. It wasn't until 2003, when Kobe and Vanessa welcomed their first daughter, Natalia, that he finally reconnected with them. But even then, things were never quite the same, and their relationship remained rocky over the years. Kobe also had tension with his 2 older sisters because they were way too financially dependent on him, and at some point, Kobe had to cut them off completely and force them to build their own lives without his money. When asked by ESPN during a 2016 interview why he cut off his sisters, Kobe said, "It was tough for me to do, but it's something you have to do, something you have to be very strong about. They're very smart, college-educated women. I'm really proud of them. They were able to get their own jobs, get their own lives, take care of themselves. Now they have a better sense of self, of who they are as people, instead of being resentful, because they were relying on me." But things hit a whole new level of messy in 2013 when Kobe's mom, Pamela, tried to cash in on Kobe's success behind his back Pam was caught trying to auction off some of Kobe's most prized memorabilia, including championship rings and high school uniforms, without his permission, and Kobe was not having it. He immediately hit them with a lawsuit, taking legal action against both his parents and the auction house.
Mom got $450 million up front on this. $1,000. I knew that was wrong when I said it. Thank you very much. $450,000. She wants to buy a house in Nevada. She could get a really nice house for $45 million. But anyway, there she is in the picture. She says, look, you know, I remember Kobe saying to me, here, Mom, this stuff is for you. He said that, according to her. What does that mean, Faith?
Well, it means that Kobe's going to come into court. He's disputing that, so he's going to come into court and say, actually, I didn't say that. This is my stuff, my property, and I don't want it to be auctioned off.
See, Kobe had been more than generous with his mom, and he offered to buy her a house in Las Vegas, but Pamela wasn't satisfied, and she wanted an even bigger, pricier place in California. ESPN revealed that Kobe offered his mom $250,000 to help with the new home, but Pamela turned it down, demanding $450,000 instead. So when Kobe turned down buying his mom another house, Pamela took things to the extreme and auctioned off his prize memorabilia. To raise the money, Pamela struck a deal with Golden Auctions, expecting to make $450,000 from the sale. But when Kobe found out, he filed a lawsuit, claiming she had no right to sell his personal items. Pamela argued that Kobe had given her the memorabilia, but he strongly denied it. In the end, the lawsuit was settled. Some items were returned to Kobe, while 6 items were auctioned off. But by then, the damage to their relationship was done for Kobe. This wasn't just about money, it was a massive betrayal. Those trophies and jerseys weren't just items, they were symbols of his blood, sweat, and tears, representing years of hard work. And instead of treasuring them, Pamela turned his legacy into a quick cash grab. Now fast forward to July 21st, 2016, Kobe wrote an emotional letter to his younger self as part of a Players Tribune feature. And in this letter, he gave his younger self a warning: never mix business with family. Kobe wrote, "The next time I write to you, I may touch on the challenges of mixing blood with business. The most important advice I can give to you is to make sure your parents remain parents and not managers." In another interview, Kobe admitted that his relationship with his parents was a mess and that he was furious about how they sold off his memorabilia for some quick cash. "Our relationship is," Kobe said, "I say, I'm going to buy you a very nice home, and the response is that's not good enough, then you're selling my." What made this whole situation even worse was that Kobe had already done so much for his parents. He bought them a home and made sure they were financially set. But clearly that wasn't enough. Pamela wanted more, so much more that she was willing to sell off Kobe's prized memorabilia and profit from his hard-earned success without his approval. Now there were a few rare moments when it seemed like Kobe might finally reconnect with his father Joe. According to Wayne Slappy, a former coach and close friend of Kobe, there was an emotional moment between father and son at a basketball camp where they hugged it out. Slappy told the Daily Mail, "I just remember being with him up at his camp in Santa Barbara and seeing him hug his dad. You know, how they loved each other, from how they looked at each other, how they smiled. Everybody's family has issues, disagreements here and there. The healing comes, but this healing is going to be hard because he's not here." But when it comes to Kobe's mom, Pamela, there's no evidence that their relationship was ever repaired before Kobe's tragic passing, despite the years that passed since she sold his memorabilia behind his back. Sources close to the situation claim Pamela never once apologized in person to Kobe. She was apparently so stubborn and set in her ways that she didn't even try to make amends, and from the outside, it's clear that Kobe never fully got over the pain his mom caused him. He went above and beyond to provide for his parents, but Pamela's actions made him realize that no matter how much he gave, it would never be enough for her. And this is exactly why fans are now coming to Vanessa Bryant's defense. Kobe himself had distanced himself from his mom and never showed any desire to make things right. If Kobe decided to keep his mom at arm's length, it makes perfect sense that Vanessa wouldn't feel obligated to rebuild a relationship that her husband himself chose to walk away from. Do you think Vanessa owes Pamela something, especially when it comes to supporting her financially? Or do you think Pamela is being greedy and Vanessa is just honoring Kobe's wishes?